Donald Trump is still a few weeks away from officially becoming president, but let's be honest, he's basically the president already. Earlier this month, he wrote on Truth Social, which is of course his platform, if the hostages are not released prior to January 2025, the date that I proudly assume office as President of the United States, there will be all hell to pay in the Middle East and for those in charge who perpetrated these atrocities against humanity. Well, the international news group AFP are reporting that diplomatic sources have told them that since this post, Hamas have been pushing for a ceasefire and are hoping to reach a deal by the end of the year. Let's bring in Sky News contributor Kosha Gada now. I mean, Kosha, you barely see anything of Biden these days. It would seem that Trump's out there doing the job of president even though he hasn't been inaugurated.
It is a safe assumption to make, Caleb, for sure. I think Mar-a-Lago is the place to be, and you've had all sorts of world leaders and everybody from Mark Zuckerberg to Justin Trudeau and Benjamin Netanyahu and others go through there. So he is the de facto president, more so than a typical president-elect would be. Look, I think there's other structural changes that have also happened in recent weeks leading to this potential good deal coming out of the hostage situation with Syria and just the extra uncertainty it's injecting into the region, with Hezbollah being weakened in Lebanon. So I'm sure all of that is playing a factor as well. But U.S. leadership always is a key factor on the chessboard, and the leadership looks like night and day with Trump now coming in short order here versus Biden, or even if it had been Harris.
Well, exactly, and I think leadership is the key word here, right? I mean, you know, even though he isn't president and he hasn't actually done any deals yet, he's been on the phone to people, and just by the fact that he is there and he will be president, I think it shifts the way the world operates, because people are starting to think, well, if Donald Trump is going to be president again, we've got to start working in a way that we can deal with him, and that makes people make decisions that they wouldn't have made under Joe Biden, such as potentially looking at a ceasefire.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this was a very high contrast election on a whole host of policy issues, domestic and international, because the entire platform, as well as their leadership style, back to, that word, is so different, so night and day. And here too, the world does know a little bit about Trump's style this time around, since he was in office for 4 years before, and they do know that he is somebody who's very strong. He is actually quite strategic. He's quite unpredictable. That's actually part of his strategy. He's been very open to that. And that does make some of these actors a little bit back on their heels, because, they don't know what he's capable of, but he is capable of making some pretty big moves versus the other team likely would not have.